Hi everybody, welcome back to the Corral. Today I'm going to be talking about three Whitmans. I have talked about Whitmans before, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I mentioned Whitman books. For you collectors out there who know what I'm talking about, I have shelves of Whitmans. I have quite a few up behind me here and over there and so forth. I've been a Whitman collector for a very long time. Today we're going to talk about three from the mid-60s. The first one is It's a Mystery, Stories of Suspense by Mildred Bingham. All right, Mildred Bingham. And I took some notes. Mildred Bingham was born in 1909. She died in 2009. She's best known for a book called Glitter from the Dark, which was a book which celebrated her husband's life. He was blind, and he became a champion for the blind. This book is a collection of short stories that she wrote, stories of suspense. And it is a Whitman tween-age book. It says right here on the cover, so you're not confused. Tween-age books were put out by Whitman. Today, of course, they call those books young adult books. It's just a label. I bought this through the school service, I believe, just as I did many of them. It's a 1965 copyright date with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 short stories. Some spoiler alerts here. I don't know if this book is still in print. I don't think it is. It should be. These books feature young boys and girls involved in a suspenseful mystery. And they're soft. They're soft mysteries. There is nothing in this book that has gore in it or violence or any of that, but they are suspenseful, hence you get the subtitle, Stories of Suspense. They're quite well done for a young age. Now, for me, these stories represent a bygone era. They're fun to read. They were fun to read as a child. It's nice to reminisce and go back to them. This is a good book that I could pass along to my granddaughters and they would enjoy because there are boys and girls in here. And some of their illustrations are really quite nice. So we have color illustrations and we also have black and white illustrations in here. And I believe it gives credit to the illustrators in the front. Let's see if I'm correct there. I may not be. I don't know. I'm sorry. Sorry about the delay there. I had a bit of a brain fart. Illustrated by Wendell Kling and Al Stein. They did the beautiful color and black and white illustrations. Here's two girls, and really nicely done. So the stories, as I said, these are soft endings. It's a logical ending. It doesn't involve religion, politics, or anything else. Just a natural ending. One of my favorites is called When the Sleigh Bells Jingled, and it's a short tale about a boy. Look at the beautiful color illustration here, slightly faded. This is, it's kind of a lower grade copy. And, Whitman books were cheaply produced. And here is another great one. So it's about a boy who hears jingling in a barn, and what's the mystery of that? What caused the jingling? And so it becomes a suspenseful moment. He's running around trying to get the answers, and it has a logical conclusion that involves a deer getting wrapped up in a sleigh harness. So I said there's spoiler alerts here, right? So, I mean, it's very soft, but the stories are well written. I think Mildred Bingham was a good writer for young readers, and all of these stories are like that. There's one where there's some type of alien thing looking in the forest, and they're wondering what's going on. Is it aliens? Of course it's not. It has to do with an ice cream shop and their machinery. Again, logical conclusions to a suspenseful moment where they don't know what is the mystery. It's a mystery, and very, very basic premise here, and yet still enjoyable to look back on these, very much so. And I recommend it if you can get a copy of this for younger readers in your home. I'm hoping my granddaughters read this. They'll really like it because, again, the stories have boys and girls, sometimes a girl, sometimes two girls in a story, sometimes a boy. You know, I mean, she mixes it up. Mildred Bingham mixes it up quite well. Good tween age book or young adult, okay? It's a Mystery from 1965. Good stuff. All right, next up is Mystery at Red Top Hill. This is also a Whitman tween age book by Marjorie Schwalje. Did I say that right? It's spelled Schwalje. And this is a great book. Let me tell you about Marjorie. Marjorie was born in 1922 and she died in 2012. She published over 20 books. I've seen some of her other books for younger readers even than this, and this is the only one I have. In the 60s, this was an incredibly popular book with the elementary school crowd that I hung out with, okay? We all did the same things. You know, we had the Scholastic program so we could buy books through the school. We could get them at bookstores, and we did. And the Whitmans in the Scholastic book themselves were fun to get your hands on. Really excellent stuff. So this one is a little more complicated. So we have Major Clyde, who has a farm at Red Top Hill. And we have Nancy, Todd, and Steve. You see them on the cover. By the way, the cover illustrations are by the same gentleman who illustrated the Mad Scientist Club, and that would be Charles Gere. And so if that illustration looks familiar, that's because he's the one that did those. He was quite popular during the 60s. There's even a color illustration here and there amongst the black and white illustrations. This is also a great book for young readers today, if you can get a copy of it. eBay. I don't know if this is still in print. I didn't see it, that it was. I love the end papers on this. It has a map. Again, it's a mystery. There's a mystery involved here. And young readers love mysteries. This also shares a distinction with the other book, with It's a Mystery, which I just talked about, by Bingham. These two books share a distinction in being they have a soft ending. Somewhat. This is a little more complicated plot. So this involves the three kids who like Major Clyde. He's going to sell his property, and he finds there's a mysterious stranger coming around. They want to know who he is, and they're very curious. Kids are always curious, and that always leads them into a mystery. It happens in real life just as it did in the books. And so this guy wants to buy the farm to improve upon it, but they discover, spoiler alert again, that the buyer is unscrupulous and he just wants to tear it all down and put a subdivision in or something. Nancy, Todd, and Steve uncover that, and they let him know, which changes the story. It's very well written. It has good characterizations. It has some brevity to it. I like this book a great deal. I love the cover by Gere, and this is was at the time one of my favorites. Again, it's a Whitman tween age book, and you can find this for young readers today and give it to them. This is another one that I'm holding in reserve for my granddaughters to read, and my eldest granddaughter is getting there very soon. All right, one last Whitman from the same period, 65. This is actually, I believe, this is 1968. So this is a strange one for me because it's a sequel. The first edition, it's a 2-volume set. The first volume was Tales to Tremble By. I don't have it any longer. I don't know where it is. So I haven't read it since the 60s. I don't know why it's disappeared, and who knows. So I do have more Tales to Tremble By, which survived in my collection, which I uncrated. And it is a collection of stories that are hauntingly excellent. Let me read you who these writers are. Now, these stories are for a little more, it doesn't say it's a tween book, but this is really more of a leaning toward adulthood. The Red Lodge by H. Russell Wakefield. I know some of you, dare I say it, old-timers know who I'm talking about here. We have a Saki story, Sredni Vashtar, and we have Thornley Abbey by Percival Landon. Really superb story called God Grant That She Lies Still, Haunting Tale by Cynthia Asquith. The Voice in the Night by William Hope Hodgson. That is a classic tale of terror. It's excellent. And then we have another excellent tale by none other than August Derleth called The Extra Passenger. Then we have Casting the Runes by M.R. James. That is also widely regarded as a classic. And then we have the book by Margaret Irwin. These are all great tales from the past, some of them dating back 60 years prior to this. This is a surprisingly good collection from Whitman for young readers. Now, the market would have been the tween market, they called it back then, the young adult market. But without saying so on it, it just appeared on the market. I don't believe I bought this through school. I believe I bought this at a bookstore where it was probably discounted. And because we were always looking for Whitmans. Whitmans were the books for younger readers, so we would always get those. Remarkably good. There are some really cool illustrations in here. Take a look at that. And I enjoyed this book. This is edited and put together by Stephen P. Sutton, and he has an introductory essay. It's illustrated by Gordon Laite, Laite, and those illustrations are, again, they're quite good. In here, I'm going to show you another one. So, spooky stuff. Remarkably adult collection for Whitman at the period. There's nothing gory in these books either. They're just good suspense tales. They're more tales to tremble by. Very well done by Whitman. Another one I would give later tweens, maybe 12, 13, could easily get through this. I would hope in this day and age. So there we have another retro look back at a couple of forgotten Whitmans here. More Tales to Tremble By, Mystery at Red Top Hill, which is a classic, and It's a Mystery, Stories of Suspense by the great Mildred Bingham. A really fine material for younger readers. If you're looking for that type of material for your home collection, I recommend look for some of those Whitmans. And that's it for this one, my friends. And you stay well. You stay happy. Feed your brain. Read a book.